Welcome to general session for Tuesday, September 27, 2022. We will begin today with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner O'Grady.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those of you calling in, please ensure that you have muted your phone line. Thank you. I'd like to begin this morning by recognizing the International Day of Democracy, which was a couple of weeks ago on September 15th. This annual observance brings awareness to the importance of protecting democracy around the world and recognizing the threats to democracy that we're seeing more and more, including even here at home. This year's focus is on the importance of media freedom, which I think is especially timely as we have seen threats to free and fair press both around the world and here in the U.S. Sometimes those threats take the form of violence. According to the United Nations, 55 journalists were killed in the line of duty last year. Sometimes it takes the form of disinformation, which misinforms people and erodes trust in high-quality established news outlets. We know that a free American press is not only protected by the Constitution, but is vital for the success of our democracy. And it's something that we believe is passionately and will work to protect here in Franklin County. Please visit protectpressfreedom.org to learn more. Next, I would like to recognize September as Baby Safety Month. Baby Safety Month was originally founded by the Juvenile Products Manufacturers Association, or JPMA, the companies that make products for babies. Unfortunately, choking or suffocation is the leading cause of accidental death for infants, while hundreds of American children die in automobile accidents each year, and many more may be injured by seemingly innocuous items in their home. The JPMA now has a certification program to guide parents and caregivers toward purchasing products for their kiddos that are built with safety in mind, and which covers everything from toys to car seats and from bathtubs to sleepwear. Parents can visit jpma.org to learn more and download resources to find products that have been certified by the organization. And finally, we will celebrate National Family Day, which actually was yesterday. However, I want to take a moment this morning to shine a spotlight on the people that make our lives meaningful. Families come in all shapes and sizes, but what they all have in common is unconditional love and support. According to psychologists, family ties are critical for healthy development. Research shows that our family relationships have significant effects on our well-being and quality of life. Strong ties with family members support us under pressure, help us process trauma, and boost our self-esteem. Whether we are linked by blood or the family we choose in the form of friends and partners, we here in Franklin County understand the important place that families play in our community, and it is my pleasure to devote a day to appreciating and engaging with the important people in our lives. If we can move to the regular agenda and get approval for the minutes for September 20th, 2022, general session.
Move approval of the minutes for
Second.
September.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Moved
Ready
and
to go.
seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes,
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
thank you. First up, we have engineer.
Madam President, we do have a public hearing.
Oh, we do. We have a public hearing.
So establishing, altering, and widening of Alkire Road, County Road Number 11, between Darby Creek Drive and Johnson Road, Prairie Township, and Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed engineer to file plans as necessary.
I would like to open the public hearing for Resolution 702-22. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this resolution that's here in the audience or online? Seeing and hearing none, I would like to close the public hearing and ask the clerk to read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 70222, establishing, altering, and widening of Alkire Road, County Road Number 11, between Darby Creek Drive and Johnson Road, Prairie Township, and Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed engineer to file plans as necessary.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nick Soulis, Government Affairs Liaison for Franklin County Engineer Cornell Robertson. Commissioners, this first hearing and this resolution is similar to the next one as well. On August 30th of 2022, this board declared necessary the Alcara Road project. And on September 20th, last week, the board did conduct the viewing. This project is to improve the safety along a horizontal curve along Alcara Road. And if approved, this will take the next step in the legislative process, allow us to prepare the plans and present those to you. So pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 70222.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 70222 has been adopted.
Thank you. We have a public hearing for Resolution 703-22. Can the clerk please read the resolution? Read the public hearing.
Establishing, altering, and widening of Gardner Road, County Road number 281, between the Madison County line and Rival Road, Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed engineer to file plans as necessary.
I would like to open the public hearing for this resolution for 703-22. Is there anyone here in the audience or online that would like to speak to the public hearing? Hearing and seeing none, I would like to close the public hearing and ask the clerk to read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 70322, establishing, altering, and widening of Gardner Road, County Road number 281, between the Madison County line and Rival Road, Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed engineer to file plans as necessary.
Commissioners, as I indicated before, this particular project is the horizontal curve along Gardner Road. And this, again, was declared necessary by the Board of Commissioners on August 30th. It was viewed last week on September 20th. And this will allow us to prepare the plans and specifications necessary to move this project forward. So pending any questions, Commissioners, we ask for your approval.
It's always good to have public hearings on horizontal curves.
As opposed to vertical, I suppose.
If there are no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 70322.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 70322 has been adopted. Resolution number 70422, preliminary allocation and final encumbrance of county motor vehicle license fee $5 funds for the city of New Albany in the amount of $500,000.
Commissioners, this resolution would approve the allocation and encumbrance of the motor vehicle license funds for the city of New Albany. They are seeking to improve US Route 62 between Thurston Hall Boulevard and Smith's Mill Road. That's basically underneath 161 in that area. The county engineer has viewed the proposed use of funds and determined that they meet the allowable use. So pending any questions, we seek your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 70422.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 70422 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Nick.
And Commissioner O'Grady, I appreciate the pin. I'm sorry your colleague isn't here to share in that.
I was trying to be a little below the radar with that, but thank you for pointing it out.
Thanks.
Well, there goes my day. It's okay. Let me know when y'all get 6 rings. Anyways, prosecuting attorney.
Resolution number 70522, resolution authorizing an agreement with Axon Enterprise Incorporated for the purchase of the Axon digital evidence storage and management system in the amount of $1,550,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Robin Moorhead, and I'm an assistant prosecuting attorney in the prosecutor's office. I'm here this morning to present a resolution for an agreement for the purchase of Axon Evidence, a digital evidence storage and management system. This system will provide significant efficiencies in the storage and management of evidence for the prosecutor's office, including the body-worn camera evidence submitted to the prosecutor's office by the Columbus Police Department. This agreement has a term of 5 years and is for the total amount of $1,550,000. $1,000. Pending any questions, I respectfully request the board's approval of this resolution.
I apologize for my absence on Thursday in the briefing session. You mentioned the Columbus Police Department will it also store the body worn camera evidence from the Sheriff's Department?
That is the intent. We will have to transfer that evidence from the sheriff's office to Axon evidence, but the intent is for Axon evidence to serve as the entire storage system.
All right, if there are any other,
Well, I do.
sorry.
No, you're good. Currently, who is the provider for digital evidence storage?
So currently, we receive that, the evidence on like discs, and it's all stored, stored that way. And then it's uploaded, it may be uploaded into our matrix system, which is our matter management system in the prosecutor's office. But it is all, we receive like discs from the Columbus Police Department, and that's how it's stored and managed now.
Okay, so we're moving to a whole new system, or we're trying to integrate?
We are moving into an entirely new system. So once Axon evidence is uploaded and up and running, we will be able to store the evidence from the Columbus Police Department will be transferred directly to our Axon evidence system. Those systems for the city of Columbus and the Franklin County will be different or separate entirely, but they will be able to transfer that directly to us versus burning everything, all that video evidence on a disk and submitting the disk to the prosecutor's office.
Okay. All right. I don't have any further questions.
All right, if there are no further questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 70522.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 70522 has been adopted.
Thank you. Next, we have animal control.
Resolution number 70622, resolution authorizing supplemental appropriations for the operation of the animal shelter.
Good morning, Commissioners. April Ricardo, Assistant Director for Animal Care and Control. Our item on the agenda this morning is requesting your approval for supplemental appropriations for the shelter. These appropriations will address the vendor payments necessary for continued operations for the remainder of the year. Pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 70622.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 70622 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Next up, we have child support enforcement.
Resolution number 70722, resolution authorizing Franklin County Child Support Enforcement Agency to enter into a contract with the Urban Family Development Center for the provision of professional services related to the implementation of the charting a course for economic mobility and responsible parenting Cohort 2 grant project in the amount of $97,170.
Good morning, Commissioners. Susan Brown, representing the Child Support Enforcement Agency. This resolution authorizes a contract, again in the amount of $97,170, between Child Support and the Urban Family Development Center. The contract period is from July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2024. This contract is a professional services agreement as outlined in the federal Charting a Course for Economic Mobility and Responsible Parenting Grant, which was originally approved by the board under Resolution 0397-22. Activities to be performed under the grant funding include partnerships with community agencies to deliver a multi-layer approach to address economic mobility and responsible parenting to teens and young adults, utilizing the No Kidding Ohio curriculum. No Kidding Ohio will be delivered using a peer-to-peer approach, employing young parents to deliver curriculum and augment the education material with firsthand experience, as well as from child support experts. A social media and digital marketing campaign will be developed with the assistance of the peer educators to further disseminate the program materials. The grant will help teens and young adults gain the knowledge, skills, and access to resources likely to lead to success in their pursuit of their life goals, economic security, economic mobility, and responsible parenting. The Urban Family Development Center will hire a navigator to attend classes and workshops, coach and mentor outreach staff with a fatherhood focus, connect program participants to necessary services and economic mobility planning opportunities, and to assist in outreach and marketing efforts. Pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
Thank you. I have a question around how many teens or young parents are you targeting with this, the second cohort?
We are going into schools. We're going into youth centers, community centers, and any other venues that provide services or resources to children. The grant doesn't dictate a target number of participants. So it's a matter of getting out into the community and into the schools and reaching as many children as possible or youth as possible.
And the contract is from July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2024 for Urban Family Development Center. Is that the length?
Correct.
Is that the length of the grant as well?
That is.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
If there are no
Thank
further,
you, Commissioners.
if there are no further comments, questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 70722.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 70722 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Director. Have a great day.
You
Next-
as well.
Thank you. Next, we have community partnerships.
Resolution number 70822. Resolution amending Resolution number 68522 regarding the authorization of a funding agreement with the Ohio Department of Health to support a tuberculosis detection and treatment program and administer medically approved courses of treatment in the management of individuals diagnosed with tuberculosis.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Tlarik with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution follows up the resolution that was approved last week. The amendment would allow the county administrator rather than the president of the board to sign the agreement. Pending any questions, would ask your approval of this resolution.
I got something. I need to speak with you real quick. Give me a second.
All right, if there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 70822.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 70822 has been adopted. Resolution number 70922. Resolution authorizing a COVID-19 recovery grant to the Rise Together Innovation Center for the establishment of the Community Information Exchange in the amount of $2 million.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration. This is Curtis Brown, Community Partnerships Coordinator. This resolution will be providing a COVID-19 recovery grant in the amount of $2 million to the Rise Together Innovation Center to assist in the establishment of the Community Information Exchange. This funding will be used to set up stakeholder alignment and engagement, governance, product development, and establishment of stakeholder data. We are joined this morning by the CEO of the Rise Together Innovation Center, Danielle Sidnor, and the Executive Director of Smart Columbus, Jordan Davis, and they both would like to provide additional details regarding this project, so I will hand it over to them.
Thank you, Curtis. Good morning, President Crawley, Commissioner O'Grady, Administrator Wilson. My name again is Danielle Sidnor. I'm the CEO of Rise Together Innovation Center, and excited to be addressing you all today in hopes for approval of this resolution. The mission of the Rise Together Innovation Center is to harness the collective power of people and systems to disrupt structural racism and issues of poverty to achieve equity for all Franklin County residents. And so when we had the opportunity to look at the Community Information Exchange and how it might align with that mission, one of the things that we recognized is that the Community Information Exchange is designed to improve residents' quality of life by really enhancing the way that folks that are navigating any of our existing systems today do that in a much more efficient manner with systems that are better connected and talking to each other. thereby hopefully saving our residents time and energy that they're spending in the system, but also finding efficiencies and dollars that we can put back into how we are administering programs to individuals. One of the things that I would like to leave with you all today is when I think about the community information exchange, I want us to think about it like a technology infrastructure project. It is laying a foundation that we can build off of in the future. And I use a colloquialism that in the past, we used to use horse and buggies and gravel roads to get places. And that took a really long time. And so now we're using autonomous vehicles and we're moving into spaces in a much faster way than we ever thought possible. And so the foundation of this community information exchange will allow us to do that for folks that are navigating nonprofit, healthcare, and government-related systems in terms of getting support. And so Jordan will talk a little bit more about the implementation of this initial $2 million and how it will set us up to really build out a technology infrastructure project for the future. Thank you again.
Thanks, Danielle. Commissioner President Crowley, Commissioner O'Grady, Administrator Wilson, thanks for having me. It's really great to be here today to talk to you about a project and a program we've been thinking about for many years. I want to also acknowledge that Matt Habash is here from the Mid-Ohio Food Collective. This vision really comes from 16 different organizations that worked together to craft this vision. Matt Habash and the Mid-Ohio Food Collective were instrumental in bringing this proposal forward. Since the conclusion of the U.S. Department of Transportation Smart Cities grant, Smart Columbus has evolved its operations to focus on anticipating and advancing what's new and next at the intersection of technology and community good. We believe that to be a leading community of the future, we need to be more equitable, environmentally sustainable, and digitally enabled. In order to do that, our job is to facilitate ways in which technology can be adapted and used to achieve that smarter future. And so the CIE is a big idea that fits perfectly within our mission to leverage the power of data to deliver more coordinated, holistic, and human-centered care for our residents who need it most. This coalition of organizations who developed the vision for the CIE over multiple years are actively engaged in bringing it to life. This vision includes the introduction of a common application to enable residents to apply once to qualify for multiple services, a resident-facing user application to make navigating services more convenient, and a robust predictive analytics capability to enable proactive delivery of care and community-wide investment. The fundamental data infrastructure that enables these features and functions is not a new idea. Counties across the country, from San Diego, Seattle, Rochester, St. Louis, and many others, have built community information exchanges anchored by the ability to facilitate faster referrals between organizations. We will benefit from not being the first in this regard, and we'll get to start our journey with a suite of best practices and matured technologies that didn't exist 10 or even 2 years ago. Based on benchmarks from other communities such as San Diego and Seattle, it is anticipated that this will cost roughly $18 million over 4 years. But ultimately, we believe we will be able to save money on some of the core components in order to focus on building out the more cutting-edge features that I mentioned above that have greater value to the end user or the resident. What I have learned in my experience doing government and community technology projects is that it's rarely the technology that prevents a solution from being successful. It's usually the people. While this is a complex data project, this is more so a complex culture and systems change. This first-year investment will focus heavily on laying that strong foundation of stakeholder alignment and engagement, governance, product development, and data policy and strategy. Key components of this first investment will be user experience design with residents and caseworkers, assessments of the current state of data management and social service in the social service sector and capacity to mature those existing systems or create them where they don't exist. Detailed technical requirements that will inform what technology we need to build versus buy, build out the long-term business model for sustainment, and pilot with community organizations to test the value of preferred features and functions before we move forward at scale. Our approach to design and develop this solution will be inclusive and deeply informed by end users directly. There's not enough time to design a technology solution that no one needs or wants. We are committed to running a fair procurement process as stewards of public dollars. We will ensure vendors like Unite Us have an opportunity to bid on what we are trying to do. We are going to have a bias for partnering over building and avoid reinventing the wheel. Funding the Community Information Exchange was a priority recommendation in the Recovery and Resiliency Plan and also has support of the City of Columbus and the Columbus Partnership. Before we kick off year one, Smart Columbus has contracted with a proven technology leader, Diane Dashford, who's on the call today, to lead stakeholders through a 3-month process to prepare and align around key objectives and key results. Sprint 1 of this work started on Friday with 16 social service organizations that include Primary One Health, Catholic Social Services, YMCA, the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, Jewish Family Services, and many others. This process is to ensure the county investment is maximized and focused so that we can make the most progress possible in year one. This vision that was born directly from the community service providers themselves is innovative, comprehensive, and impactful. The ask before you today is an initial investment in our future. Thank you for your time, and we're happy to answer any questions.
I just have an initial question, and maybe this is for Curtis or Danielle. When it comes to the mid-year report, initially there'll be $1 million upon the signing of the resolution passing and then the contract, but then the remaining $1 million will be paid within 30 days of the mid-year grant report. And so just wondering, what are the things that we're looking to capture, since this is a new thing, we're doing a new thing, and so we can't necessarily measure it the same way that we would any other program. So just wondering, and anybody could speak to it actually, like what are you anticipating for that mid-year? What type of metrics?
Sure. Well, I'll cover the high-level things, and then if you want to do the specifics. They submitted an Exhibit A,
Yeah, I
which,
was looking for that. Okay,
yes,
so-
and it's, and I can send it to you. But it outlines what they will be doing really for the full term of the contract. But at the mid-year point, what we do is look to see how they're going so far with the things that they've put in place within the first 6 months. And we look to see if they're on track. If they are on track, we will, of course, continue with the second payment. If they're not on track, what we do is we work together with them to figure out, okay, these are the goals and objectives that you've set. How can we put together an action plan to move forward to make sure that we get on the right path? But if you would like to speak to what was in Exhibit A?
Yeah, I didn't see it. That's what I was looking for. Did I miss it? Oh, sorry. Okay. Never mind. Go ahead.
It's a separate document.
Okay. Because it said Exhibit A, but okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
So there's a mid-year report and then there's an end-of-year report. The mid-year report will predominantly focus on pacing. So making sure we've issued the right contracts, engaged the right people, developed the right plans and frameworks so that commissioners have an opportunity to really weigh in on the next set of investments. Examples would be ensuring that we have the project management team and consultants in place, the documentation of all the main objectives and key results, the technical roadmaps, the pilot design schedule, the user stories with end user input, the user needs and experience research, so we have that voice of the resident in at the beginning. And it's really an opportunity to check in to make sure we're getting as substantial of answers that you think are necessary. And this will all be informed by a coalition of partners. One of the other milestones is the governance board getting set up so that we have community accountability of this asset as it's developed. And then the end of year milestones and deliverables are the full completed deliverables and the actual kind of sustainability and funding plan as well that's been brought up.
And also, President Crowley, if I could add, what we usually happens is during the mid-year report is what occurs as a site visit. So I would be going actually out to see how the technology and how everything is set up and see how things are running actually on site, in addition to a mid-year checkpoint meeting with Danielle and Ms. Sidnor.
Okay.
I mean, Ms. Sidnor and Ms. Davis.
I knew what you meant. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And then, yeah, if I could see Exhibit A. I don't have any additional questions. Maybe my colleague does.
Jordan, you indicated that this was an initial investment. What do you expect the total investment to be?
So the estimated total community-wide investment over 4 years is 18 million. We're not expecting the county to foot that entire bill. So we appreciate your all's leadership in taking the first step to lead with confidence in this investment. We'll be soliciting additional investment from the city. We'll be exploring the viability for private sector investment as well as potentially membership models from those who benefit from the exchange. So we'll be doing all of that in year one to really set us up for that longer-term sustainment. I would acknowledge as well that 18 million is in the largest sum. We did some research based off the questions from last week, followed up Seattle and San Diego's is about 1 to 1.5 million of general operating and maintenance long-term. So that's after the initial build. And we'll build out all of those feasibility models and viability models for you in the first year. And that would be one of the progress deliverables in the milestones.
Okay. Well, if there are no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 70922.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 70922 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Have a wonderful day. Next up, we have Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 71022, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Jonathan Benner and Margaret Benner at 1000 Hunt Valley Drive, Reynoldsburg, Ohio, 43068.
Is there anyone?
Good morning, I'm sorry. Good morning. I'm Julissa Tiruchão, Administrative Assistant 2 for EDP. My first resolution is Jonathan Benner and Margaret Benner received on April 29, 2010 from Franklin County a home loan for $5,516 on real estate, commonly known as 1000 Hunt Valley Drive, Reynoldsburg. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 71022.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 71022 has been adopted. Resolution number 71122, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Charles E. Doherty and Betty A. Doherty at 6520 Bartlett Court, Reynoldsburg, Ohio, 43068.
Charles A. Daughtry and Betty A. Daughtry received on April 30th, 2012 from Franklin County a home loan for $15,000 on real estate, commonly known as 6520 Bartlett Court, Reynoldsburg. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied. The property taxes are paid and current, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 71122.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 71122 has been adopted. Resolution number 71222, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Mary Larson and Richard Larson at 3727 Walford Street, Columbus, Ohio, 43224.
Mary Larson and Richard Larson received on February 14, 2014 from Franklin County a home loan for $5,140.06 on real estate, commonly known as 3727 Walford Street, Columbus, Ohio. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
Excuse me, if there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 71222.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 71222 has been adopted.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You do the same. Next up, Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 71322, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Research Institute at Nationwide Children's Hospital, doing business as Abigail Watsner Research Institute for the Southside Thrive Family Support Services Initiative, in the amount of $32,848.60.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Chief Administrator. The Southside Thrive Collaborative is a place-based collective impact initiative that supports Southside residents in living healthy, fulfilling lives by strengthening the efforts of community partners. The collaborative focuses on advancing program outcomes in the areas that align with the social determinants of health framework, including housing stability, economic mobility, health outcomes, and civic engagement. The collaborative is made up of a network of 40 health and human service organizations, businesses, and community-based groups to enhance communication, collaboration, and service coordination. With this funding, Southside Thrive will focus on a trio of initiatives to support Southside families: the Healthy Living Campaign, the Neighborhood Navigator Program, or the Boots on the Ground to complement their online hub, and then finally, an economic opportunity analysis. This resolution supports health goal number 10 of your Rise Together blueprint. And pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 71322.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 71322 has been adopted. Resolution number 71422, resolution approving subaward agreements with Community Refugee and Immigration Services, Ethiopian Tewahedo Social Services, Jewish Family Services, and Us Together Incorporated for refugee employability services in the amount of $2,292,173.63.
Commissioners, as you know, we are the only county job and family services agency to receive state refugee social service funding. The funding is intended to help eligible newly arrived refugees across the Central Ohio region address challenges and barriers to employment, such as language, education, and work skills. The ultimate goal is to help move these individuals and families who have been impacted by trauma and violence into employment as soon as possible. Several weeks ago, you authorized our agency to enter into an agreement with ODJFS to receive funding for this grant. This resolution awards the funding to our Refugee Social Service Collaborative partners, including Community Refugee and Immigration Services, Ethiopian Tewahedo Social Services, Jewish Family Services, and Us Together. During the last grant period, the partners served over 960 eligible refugees. Nearly 70% of those participants obtained employment, exceeding the state's target of 53%. Most of these jobs are full-time with benefits providing an average wage of $15.86 per hour, also exceeding the state's target of $12.50 per hour. Under this agreement, the partners will continue to work collaboratively to offer program services to eligible refugees that have arrived in the United States within the past 5 years and initially settled or migrated to the Columbus region. The partner agencies will provide refugee support services to approximately 685 refugees this year, and that includes families who are resettled from Ukraine. This resolution supports goal number 4 of your Rise Together blueprint, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 71422.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 71422 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful Tuesday.
You do the same. Next, we have Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 71522, resolution authorizing a contract renewal with Impact Community Action for peer support and case management services through the fiscal year 2020 Comprehensive Opioid Stimulant and Substance Abuse Program in the amount of $85,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Caitlin Looney. I'm the Grants Administrator with the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. This resolution requests the authorization for a contract renewal with Impact Community Action in the amount of $85,000 for a one-year period for peer support and case management services. Through this contract, Impact will dedicate one full-time position for case management, peer support, and group facilitation for our Female Pathways pre- and post-release program. This staff member is and will remain co-located at the Rapid Resource Center at the Jackson Pike Jail to support continuity of services from pre to post-release. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 71522.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 71522 has been adopted. Resolution number 71622, resolution authorizing the President of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the cities of Columbus, Reynoldsburg, and Whitehall, confirming an agreed-upon funding plan for the fiscal year 2022 Justice Assistance Grant application, and to sign all certification and assurance documents related to the grant application.
This resolution requests the authorization for the board president to enter into this MOU. It is an annual MOU with the cities of Columbus, Reynoldsburg, and Whitehall, confirming our agreed-upon funding plan for the fiscal year 2022 Justice Assistance Grant. This joint MOU serves as part of the application process for our office to receive annual JAG funding on behalf of Franklin County. If awarded, we will present future resolutions to accept the final award and issue corresponding sub-grant awards as outlined in the drafted funding plan. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 71622.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 71622 has been adopted. Resolution number 71722, resolution authorizing the county administrator to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Columbus Public Health for the implementation of the Prevention Vending Pilot Program at the Office of Justice Policy and Programs, Rapid Resource Center, and Safer Station.
This MOU requests the authorization for county administrator to enter into this MOU with Columbus Public Health, a standing partner of our agency, for the implementation of the Prevention Vending Pilot Program at our Rapid Resource Center and our Safer Station locations. This MOU designates these two resource hubs as prevention vending points of distribution of for harm reduction materials, including free condoms, fentanyl test strips, naloxone, and pregnancy test kits. Columbus Public Health will be responsible for installing, supplying, and maintaining the vending machines during the pilot phase at no cost to our office. OJPP would then be responsible for continued maintenance and supplies for the machines after the first year, which we intend to leverage grant funding to support. The machines will provide us de-identified data on a monthly basis, which we will use to evaluate the effectiveness of this project during the pilot phase. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
I do have a question, and just pardon my ignorance. Why is there a MOU with Columbus Public Health for the implementation of the vending pilot program and not like Franklin County Public Health?
Absolutely. So Columbus Public Health actually received the funding to purchase 7 machines for our community. Franklin County Public Health is not far behind, but they haven't received their funding yet to do the purchase. So Columbus Public Health has established 7 ideal points, with two of them being at our locations to pilot it. And then if it goes well, they're actually sharing information as well as data with Franklin County Public Health to help them facilitate the release of additional vending machines once they receive their funding.
Okay, great. Thank you.
President Crowley.
Oh, yes.
Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. I think another point, and correct me if I'm wrong, Caitlin, is that the highest 5 zip codes for overdose deaths from the city of Columbus is in the zip codes identified in this documentation. And that's another reason why we're partnering with Columbus Public Health to distribute and have these machines available with the harm reduction materials and the other community resources.
Absolutely. Thank you, County Administrator. Yeah, both of these locations are consistently in our top 5 zip codes for fatality overdoses, including the Jackson Pike Jail and Safer Station on the west side. So it's a really targeted effort to try the best we can to prevent spread of infectious disease as well as fatal overdose.
And these things were identified in the Franklin County Columbus addiction plan as well, these strategies. And this vending machine pilot is one of those strategies identified in that. So I'm excited about this kicking off. I think it has great potential in the community to a lot of areas for our residents. So thank you for bringing this forward.
Thank you for your support.
Where does the grant originate from?
And I felt that question coming, and wouldn't you know it, I don't have it available right now, but I will happily follow up with Columbus Public Health. I believe it's federal funding, but I don't want to speak to the exact
Oh, no, it's
source
fine.
yet.
I was looking, but thank you.
All right. If there's no further questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 71722.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 71722 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Have a great day. Next, we have Human Resources.
Resolution number 71822. Resolution authorizing an agreement with The Ohio State University for purchase of management advancement for the public service MAPS training units for agencies of the Board of Commissioners in the amount of $69,525.
Good morning, Commissioners. Laura Rapaski, Director of Franklin County Human Resources. This resolution seeks approval of a contract with The Ohio State University in the amount of $69,525 for the purposes of training units for the Management Advancement for Public Service, also known as MAPS program. The program supports your continued investment in Board of Commissioner employees' professional development through the variety of trainings offered by MAPS. We've been partnering with MAPS for quite some time to make those trainings available to our employees. This agreement will establish a multiple membership subscription that provides more than 300 training credits to our Board of Commissioner agencies. Pending any questions or comments, we respectfully ask for your approval of this resolution.
Excuse me, if there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 71822.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 71822 has been adopted. Resolution number 71922. Resolution approving and authorizing the county administrator to execute a consultant agreement with S4 Consulting Incorporated and authorizing the county administrator to take additional actions necessary to effectuate the agreement not inconsistent with this resolution.
Commissioners, our second resolution requests authorization for the county administrator to execute a consultant agreement in a form not inconsistent with the attached agreement with S4 Consulting to provide consulting services related to leadership development, coaching, and training to Board of Commissioner employees, and for the county administrator to take related actions associated with the agreement. As with the prior resolution, this resolution seeks to continue to expand the professional development resources available to employees to improve their performance and engagement in their current roles, prepare them for new opportunities within our agencies, and continue to attract top talent to the county. Under the proposed agreement, S4 Consulting will provide services to a cohort of employees in leadership positions. They'll receive monthly one-on-one leadership coaching, periodic assessments, and access to a variety of leadership resources and tools. Additionally, S4 Consulting will provide individual and group coaching and consulting services to a designated agency or agency department. Pending any questions or comments, we respectfully ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I will move approval of Resolution 71822.
Commissioner, it's 719.
Oh, I'm sorry, 71922.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 71922 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Resolution number 72022. Resolution authorizing a contract extension and modification with United Healthcare Services Incorporated for medical plan administration services for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Improvement Program in the amount of $4 million.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jody Lees, Assistant Director of Franklin County Human Resources. This resolution approves a contract extension and modification with United Healthcare. A 3-year contract with United Healthcare was approved in 2017. It was extended an additional 2 years, and this contract extension secures services for a 6th and final year. United Healthcare administers the Franklin County Cooperative's medical plan, and in addition to providing a network of doctors and facilities and paying the medical claims for the plan, United Healthcare provides clinical management programs for our members with chronic and complex health conditions, centers of excellence options surrounding cancer care and transplant services. And our two engagement nurses, our health engagement nurses, Nurse Therese and Nurse Carmen, come to us through this contract as well. The contract is also being modified to incorporate the support needed from United Healthcare to meet the plan's obligations under the Consolidated Appropriations Act, or the CAA. Two of the more familiar provisions of the CAA include the No Surprises Act, which protects members against surprise medical bills when services are rendered by non-network providers in situations where the member has no choice. A prime example of this would be in the emergency room. The CAA also includes new requirements around mental health parity, which states that a plan can't offer less favorable benefits for mental health and substance abuse benefits than for medical and surgical benefits. Embedded into the administration of the health plan are non-qualitative components, such as prior authorization or provider reimbursement rates. And United Healthcare support is needed in order for the plan to ensure parity on these non-qualitative components. So pending any questions, I respectfully request approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 7, 2022.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 7/2022 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you. Next, we have purchasing.
Resolution number 7/2122, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,144,711.24.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing, and joining me is D'Amica Withers, Chief Economic, Equity, and Inclusion Officer in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, our resolution this morning requests your approval of 109 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. D'Amica has the supplier diversity data for you this week. Good morning, D'Amica.
Good morning, Megan. Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Commissioners, 7 of the 109 purchase orders being presented today will be awarded to 2 minority business enterprises, 2 small emergent business, and 3 women business enterprises, totaling $46,695. 3 agencies have increased their supplier diversity this week. That will include the Engineer's Office, Animal Care and Control, and Sheriff, the Franklin County Sheriff's Department. Pending any questions, we request your approval for this resolution.
If there are no questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 7/2122.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 7/2122 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You
Madam-
too.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any generalizations for today?
We do not.
Are there any members of the media who would like to ask any questions? Hearing and seeing none with no further business to come before the board, we are adjourned. Have a wonderful Tuesday.